Welcome to the first of our migrant talks on entrepreneurship and personal experiences of Jin Dawod and Yaman Halawi. We are very happy to have them with us today. Jin Dawod is the winner of Migaton, which is a migration and entrepreneurship hackathon within the scope of Enhancer project. Also, she is the founder of Peace Psychotherapy software. Yaman Halawi is the founder and CEO of Yalla Global. He has taken part in several international projects, and during the pandemic, he also took a role as a venture partner of Coronaton Turkey Hackathon. Associate Professor Başak Kale will be the moderator of this talk, and I would like to give the floor to her now.
Okay, thank you, Edda. Edda is the coordinator of the METUMIR events. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to let everybody know that we're recording this. Session, and it's going to be available on METUMIR YouTube website. I would like to ask everyone who's participating and listening right now to turn off their cameras, both for anonymity reasons and for other reasons as well. That's very appreciated. During the question and answer session, if you would like to ask a question, you might want to turn on your cameras, but while listening, please turn off your cameras and also please turn off your audio as well. Thank you. So once more, I would like to thank both Yaman and Jin for being here with us. I had opportunity of meeting them both at different occasions, and in both of the occasions, that was quite impressive to see how driven and innovative both of them are in their own specific fields. So it's indeed a pleasure and at the same time honor to have you all here with us. We will start with Jin Dawod, and I would like to give a brief introduction about Jin. She's a computer engineer and at the same time an entrepreneur. She's 24 years old and she came from Syria to Turkey while she was still in high school. And she came to Şanlıurfa in Turkey, and then she started in Harran University Computer Engineering Department and graduated in 2021. And at the same time, she is studying at the Anadolu University International Relations Department. And while she is studying and living in Turkey, she decided that she had a specific focus on psychotherapy. While speaking 5 languages, in 2008, she started to work with the Peace project on psychotherapy and application development. And her project with her team that they come together created this platform of Peace Therapy. And she's going to talk in detail about this, but she was able to get with her team together, won the Migaton project, or Migaton competition, entrepreneurial competition for migrants by Enhancer and ICMPD. And this is where I met basically Jin. And it was quite impressive. Your team and your project was actually my favorite. So I was quite happy with the result that you were able to get it, Jin. So the floor is yours. Why don't you share your presentation, and then we'll see what you have designed and made. Thank you.
First, I want to thank you all. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here today and share my story with you. I will start sharing my screen. Do you see my presentation now?
I think we're going to see in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, now.
Okay. My name is Jin Dawod. I am a computer engineer and I am the founder of Peace Psychotherapy and software company. I will briefly tell you about my life from the moment I was born until today. The beginning of my own journey and the starting point of my struggle with life started where I was born in Raqqa. city in Syria. I was born as the second child in the family, and I had a calm and a beautiful childhood. I have two brothers and two sisters, and we used to had good days together. While everything was fine and calm, the war started to come out, but we always thought that these conflicts were temporary. Then suddenly the war started, and we did not want to disrupt our life order at first, and we did not want to leave our home. Then the war increased, and the only way that we could survive was to escape to a safe place away from these bombs and conflicts. So we came to Turkey. While we were at home, our life, which was like a heaven for us, turned into a hell, and we witnessed a situation that lost the meaning of humanity. Terrible things happened during the war, and we were kids. We were so scared at that time. If we came to my education part, for my education life, I was a diligent student in Syria. I won the city first place in the high school entrance exam, which gave me the opportunity to enroll at the school of outstanding students. Our ability to receive education was affected by the war. And when we came to Turkey later, I could not continue because of the language obstacles, different system, and different exams. I encountered many obstacles in education, my education part. Later, after a little recovery, and with the support of my family, I required to continue my education. This is the list of the exams that I took to be able to continue my education. I prepared for these exams for 2 years. Let me say some of them. A high school exam in Turkey for Turkish students, known as Open Education Exam. A high school exam in Turkey for Syrian students, and YOS, which is an exam for foreign students, which gives them the ability to go to the university. And also SAT, a Scholastic Aptitude Test, which is like the High School of America. Also TOMAR, which is a Turkish proficiency exam. At the same time, I've gone to equivalence exam. Later, when it was time to apply to the university, after the results were announced, we realized that each university had to make separate exams, separate exam dates, and separate results announcement dates. And it was too late for me to choose different universities. As I said, I faced many obstacles in my education life, in my education part. Then I won the Department of Computer Engineering, which was my second choice in Harran University. While I was in university, I was very active and curious. I was participating in many conferences, which was my second, many conferences. I was attending many different departments, events, and conferences, which are different from my field too. In 2018, as a Google Developer Group organizer and the board member of IEEE Club, we organized the first hackathon in Şanlıurfa City, where I stay now. At the same time, I was developing myself in mobile application development field. At the same time, I was doing many software projects in my department. One of the trainings that I had attended was InnoCampus Entrepreneurship Accelerator Program. When I was in the second grade, it was a program that lasted for 3 months, and I learned the basics of entrepreneurship there. After receiving entrepreneurship trainings among many trainings that I had received, I was very interested, and I was excited to do something in this field after I saw how this field can change people's lives. And it was always on my mind. I wanted to draw a line for a problem that I have always noticed around me, and I myself experienced myself. That was the moment when I wanted to draw a border to the problem I noticed a lot between people from everywhere, and especially between refugees, as a person who experienced this problem myself. If I came to my entrepreneurship journey, at that time, I took the first step for Peace Therapist project. And with this idea, I applied to Hamdu Lukaya Initiative Program. The fact that my project was selected among thousands of projects and remains among the last 24 initiatives gave me a great motivation. I started developing the mobile application of the project by myself. Later, I was involved in many entrepreneurship trainings, and I listed some of these trainings here. Entrepreneurship and business development. At the same time, marketing, software development, customer services, and team leadership. When I was in the 4th grade, the Peace Project was accepted at Çekirdek for initiative startups. Because Peace Project was a software project, it was directed to TÜBİTAK program, as it is a research and development software project. I applied for a TÜBİTAK project after my Peace Project was supported by TÜBİTAK. I established a company in Istanbul, İTÜ Arı Teknoket, in 2020. So, what is Peace Project? What does Peace do? And what are the problems that Peace solves? When I wanted to start entrepreneurship, the first thing that came to my mind was the problem that me, my family, relatives, people around me, so many people, because of so many different problems, experience problem, which is psychological problems. When I started searching, I saw that in Arabic countries, it is considered a shame to go to a psychologist. Over time, I have seen that in some parts of Turkey. In fact, many refugees, like me, had psychological problems. Sometimes they could not get the support because of social pressure, sometimes financial problems, and sometimes because they could not find a native speaker psychologist. There were not only refugees who had problems, but also women who had subjected to violence. Those who are also scared to lose their jobs because of the pressure of the job and working. They could not have a psychological support. So as a solution to draw limits to these problems and to this problem, people, Peace is a mobile application and a website that connects people who need psychological support with psychologists. Peace is also a social enterprise and provides free psychological support for refugees. Peace supports 3 languages at this stage: English, Arabic, and Turkish. And other languages will be supported in the future. We have plans to reach people who need support from anywhere. So, as a solution, what does Peace Extra do? Peace, as a solution for refugees' problems, we do cooperating with human associations, and we will provide interpreter-free therapy that ensures client privacy. And we will provide employment for refugee psychologists. The second thing is by our messaging package, the client has the ability to contact his psychologist. If he has, so he will be able to provide immediate solutions to problems, and continuity of the treatment will also be done. The third thing is as soon as the user enters the application, the most suitable psychologist will be guided through content-based filtered algorithm, where we can match the right psychologist to the client according to his answer to the questionnaire. So what are the achievements do Peace do until today? First, Migrathon, Immigration and Entrepreneurship Program. We had the first place where I had the opportunity to meet with Mrs. Bashak, and the issue of Migrathon competition. It was very nice competition. I had participated also to Socialation, a social entrepreneurship hackathon. We also had the first prize. Also, Coronathon, Turkey's first COVID-19 hackathon, we had an award. Other programs like GAP Innova Entrepreneurship Program, and we also had Most Innovative Enterprise Award from Harvard University and GIGAP. Also, we had support from Tubitak for our safe online psychological therapy platform with multilingual support. If we came to my work life, while working for my Peace project, I worked for a part-time or as a freelancer in many places. For example, I worked as a project assistant in an innovation for development company, where we were providing follow-up trainings and mentorship to 42 entrepreneurs with Spark support. Also, a European Union project. I was both a mentor and entrepreneurship. At the same time, I was a curriculum writer at this project. We prepared a social entrepreneurship curriculum with our academician lecturers and with valuable names in entrepreneurship field. This curriculum will be taught as a lesson in universities and technoparks in Turkey and in partner countries at this project like Italy. I also worked as an interpreter in I translate interviews between psychologists and the clients at the Human Rights Foundation of Turkey. The reason that I started this work is to understand the process between the psychologist and the client better, and to see it closely, to understand how to make a better quality therapy process compared to the client and psychologist in Peace project. What keeps me inspired is I think that we are just in the beginning of our road. Sorry. And we have a lot of work to do. I think like having a quieter, happier life is everyone's absolute right, because the stronger each of our individuals, the stronger our society will be. My dream is to make the world more livable and full of peace and tranquility. You can follow up the process of Peace project from these accounts and these social media accounts. You can get in touch with me anytime. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much. I want to thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, I would like to listen to you.
Thank you, Jin. Thank you for the presentation. And it was, I think, quite a comprehensive presentation. It was also personal. And you told us your story, your own story, where you come from, how you know, your whole process of becoming basically an entrepreneur. And it looks like all the challenges that you have faced that make you stronger and more motivated than ever. And it's quite impressive, I think. Your story is quite impressive. So congratulations, it's quite inspiring. So I would like to ask, before we move on to Yaman, maybe you can elaborate a little bit better, and we will ask these questions as well. But is the project up and running, and are you happy with the current state of your Peace Therapist application?
Yeah, I am quite happy to do this project, because it is like my passion in my life. I am working every day and every hour for this project, because it is like just the things that I want really to achieve it. It is now Peace project is now at testing process, and we are now planning to share it in Google Play Store and Apple Store by the end of this month.
Okay, that sounds quite amazing. Thank you, Jin. And we will continue with the questions, but let's move on to Yaman before we do that. I think let me introduce very briefly Yaman as well. He has done a lot as Jin. Yaman Halawi is a Syrian entrepreneur. He is based in Turkey since 2015. He works and specializes on digital communication and business development. He is the founder and CEO of Yalla Global Company. He worked on several international projects founded by different international organizations like UNHCR and European Union in different roles, focusing on developing skills and empowering refugees to participate in the economic life in their host communities. Some of them are, you might be familiar with, like the Mega Project, RIAC, for example. And she also, during the pandemic, she worked as she took a role as a venture partner of the Cornaton, Turkey, the hackathon, that also Jin has participated in. He has also took a critical role in the leadership team of the EU versus Virus hackathon and Macathlon, supported by the European Commission Innovation Unit, working remotely on a global scale, leading the Digital Finance Challenge and enabling crowdfund-raising challenges for the startups. He had his company has an honorable mention within the final report of the EU versus Virus Commission report for sponsoring all 120 winning teams for communication and translation services support within the MENA region. So Yaman is quite busy and he has done a lot, and the floor is yours, Yaman.
Thank you. I'm really humbled for this introduction, and thank you all for joining and showing interest into participating with us into this dialogue. This is absolutely a great initiative by METU University and METUMIR, like as a platform, to establish this opening up for refugees to talk and also like to communicate with young people like from the host community. So with that said, I want to tell like this is my journey is not really that much different, let's say, from Jin. Actually, Jin is on the right path, and I can see her like in like 2 years, 5 years from now, she's running the world. So so that's really good. I would say like since 2015, when I came to Turkey, it was this new community that I had to adapt with, and coming up with the whole experience from like living in Syria, seeing the war, seeing the challenges, being like, let's say, being closed of what is happening in the world in the modern day. It was a challenge. It was a really big challenge. And one of the things that I was needed is also like the psychosocial support. So the Peace Project is perfect now. What I can tell, my company, Yalla Global, was established in 2018 in November, but that wasn't like just because I wanted to establish a company. It was because of a need and the challenge that I lived myself, and I've seen it over at least 15 to 100,000 persons during my experiences and my works with NGOs. So when I came here, I'm gonna be short because I don't want to make it like an open I want to open the conversation more to the participant for later on into this session. But when I came here, it was like I have experience working with NGOs, and I was like more during the war. I worked on to giving psychosocial support and connecting people between each other, so they can, or let's say facilitate or mediate the situation between the IDP, the internally displaced people from Syria or from any other area, and the host community and the other neighbors, the host neighbors, into the same city. And that was kind of like my role. So mediating between people and giving psychosocial support. I came here to Turkey, and it was like the same thing that I wanted to continue with NGOs, but I was faced with the challenge, which is the language barrier. And then it was like I always, even that I am working into a community center for NGOs providing psychosocial, but I had to give this continuous support for language and translation and interpretation of cultural attitude, or let's say cultural approaches between the refugees here in Turkey and the community itself, or even like the worker, my colleagues in the same NGOs. In that understanding, like during 1 year and a half, I also got a scholarship for a certificate program into psychosocial support and conflict transformation in Ankara Social Science University. It was really a big project because it was also supported by IOM, International Organization of Migration. And we had like a very high profile professors coming from different parts of the world, from Amsterdam, Yunnan, degrees from coming from let's say Lebanon, and like it was really heavy. At that point, I was thinking, like, even for myself, I need to have some approach of support on the long term. And then it came up to me, like, what we are doing actually into the NGOs, like, other than providing psychosocial support, we also provide them the very critical thing, which is telling them what it means in this community to get a chance of opportunity, or to get help, or to get something. And that is the thing of language. I want to translate this, and I want to change this into a surface that we can do it on a long run. During NGOs, there is a limited capacity for translation or for interpretation, and even back then there were no such like dedicated interpreters into hospitals or municipalities or any other situation. And that was the reason that people now, after 2-3 years of like becoming in Turkey, I've seen like people are learning Turkish very fast, like especially the refugees. So some of them, even the young, let's say, people of them. And I was telling myself how to monetize this skill and make it beneficial for them and for others as well. And there, yes, let's make a translation surface, and let's develop such a platform for translation and facilitating this. During how to start, that was the hard thing, but thanks to those projects supporting entrepreneurs and giving entrepreneurship basics and understanding then the business development, the acceleration, the boot camp, those contests are really essential into the life of any entrepreneur or a startup. So I went into MHA project. I was also like a participant. I went through the whole process till I got a grant supported from UNHCR during the MHA project with Habitat organization. And it was this thing that I established my company. But the follow-up was the thing that I wanted to understand more, how to continue and make money now. Because yes, I had it in theoretical way, but let's make it into practice. And during the whole thing, when you start a business, it's not enough to just focus on your business. You need to have another income source. And I was working as well into another job. So facilitating the run between your startup and the whole thing that related to that is heavy, because you also need to bring food to the table. And through like 1.5 years, we established a network of interpreters, freelance interpreters, who can do professional interpretation, not only like for hospitals and like normal meetings and stuff, no, but also for conferences and like these kind of programs, initiatives, on international levels. Like, so we provide simultaneous translation, and also we provide consecutive translation. We have in Yalla Global, there is a network of 77 interpreter. 70% of them are refugees, 15% of them are like from other Arab nationalities, and 15% who are Turkish national. In this process, I mean, we try to figure out now a way for the platform, because once we got into the real market, it happened to be like, oh my God, this is different and this is really hard, and not everyone, it's not up to everyone's taste. So what we can say, let's stabilizing or like giving the market into an order wasn't in our hand. And still, like what we have initially started to make a platform to connect the interpreters with the people who need interpretation, it wasn't really that beneficial into the real market after developing like such multiple, let's say, advancement with this field. And till now, we are working in networking. We figured out that networking is the key for this. What I can tell you is, sorry, I was muted. During this business and during this journey, it was also important for me to understand like how I can also be sufficient myself. And then it was this, I need to build my business, let's say, profile as well. And the whole thing, it comes from the network. And that's why I will highlight now, everything that you want to do in business depends on the network that you have around you. People who are professional in your field and you have a good relationship with them will bring you more, let's say, exposure to different projects, different opportunities, and it will be like a mutual benefit, but also like a really good relationship on long term. So that's in general. I don't know what, I will keep it up to you now. If you have anything in mind that you want to ask, so we can make the conversation more interactive.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much as well for telling the story, the personal story as well, and what motivated you and how you basically seized the opportunity when it comes it comes to you. You're able to seize the opportunity. And what I see so far from both of you, actually, before we started getting the questions, my impression is that you were able to take lots of opportunities in the last couple of years when there was a possibility of a training, for example, or a competition, or any kind of mentorship opportunity. It looks like both of you had taken this opportunity more than once. Would you like to comment on that? Like what kind of insight it gave to you, and or what kind of, you know, additional benefits you were able to get from attending these trainings, or, you know, like competitions? Well, maybe we can start with Yaman and then Jin can continue.
All right. Actually, this is a really good question, and thank you for bringing that up, because sometimes we will find out like there are a lot of opportunities, but we don't know how to access these opportunity. And sometimes we really think that we need something, but we cannot find it in what we are doing right now. For example, we have a program and I need a certain support, but I cannot really fulfill it in this program. So I look for another program who might support, or another opportunity which is announced, that it can help build this skill or fulfill this need. And that's why what you should look when you look at this opportunity. Me, myself, personally, this was my first aim. And not going into spending too much time into just attending programs and attending these kind of trainings and stuff, but I wanted to have like a certain thing or achieve a certain need. So in my career or like the startup life, I only joined like 2 real projects, real programs, which got me mentoring and support. And through over the year of working, developing the business, there was this kind of connections, like you build a connection, you build a network, and you continue supporting yourself with mentoring. So for me, that was the situation. And still, I did not apply for Topitech, for example. I did not apply for COSGAP or any such program, not because I can't, but because like there is a certain need I can fulfill, which is not really needed for Topitech or COSGAP. So it's an evaluation process for me, and this is what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's critically important to look out for that.
Okay, thank you, Yaman. Jin, how about you?
For me, the reason of joining so many programs and so many competitions was first because I am so a curious person. I like to learn. I like to know. I like to see new things, see new people. That is the first thing that make it attractive for me to join so many different things. The other thing that by joining these programs, I was able to expand my network. I was able to learn new things at the same time by hearing different perspectives from different people, from different mentors. Gives me and make me think about thoughts that I did not think before. At the same time, it is like here in Turkish system, there's a lot of things that I don't know, like for governmental section or another sections that I really don't know anything about that. By having these mentorships, they push me to think about things that I did not thought before. For me, it's really I learn anything. I learn from every program that I am joining in. I'm learning something at least, and that is a precious thing for me.
Okay, thank you, Jin. I think I'll open the floor for questions and comments and from the audience. If you have any questions and comments, either you can write it through chat, or alternatively, you can unmute yourself and ask the question directly. Just let the speaker know who you're directing question, or both in some cases, and they can specifically answer to that question. And you can also raise your hand and let us know that you would like to ask a question. In the meantime, I would like to ask a question to Yaman about because it's in your CV that you work with the EU versus virus by the European Commission's Innovation Unit. So what did you specifically do there? Could you please a little bit elaborate on that?
Okay, actually, this is really good.
I like the name, by the way. They found a good name, the EU versus the virus.
Yes, exactly. It was like the first pan-European hackathon, which was like not only specified initially, it was initially specified for European Union, but it has like a very huge attraction, which came from like all over the world. This was like a really global hackathon and a global community. And how did I started with this? I mean, it was like an invitation from a dear friend, and they were telling me like, I need someone in my team within this pan-European hackathon, and we need to have these challenges, and we need to facilitate and coordinate. And in this case, it was for me, it was like a no-brainer, like just go for it. This is a really good opportunity to network, to learn new things, to to be into this upscaled community and upscale project. And it was like a really, really fun opportunity. The thing that I can take out from this is like what I was believing for my whole life, or like whenever I started to, let's say, my professional career and establishing my business, is working remotely and working on digitally is really, really more beneficial for all companies in all of our scales, whether like small, medium, big enterprises. It's really important how we can I can measure as well. I can give you a measurement. Like during my first, let's say, 4 years in Turkey, working in an office, going to a workplace and come back, I was literally wasting 1 month, like 1 full month, 30 days of my year, just in the transportation in Istanbul. And
in Istanbul, that's normal.
Yes, it's totally normal, but it was like really heavy thing, because it's a really valued time that I can develop something else, or I can develop myself, or enjoy it with my family, let's say. So that's really something that I can measure it very honestly. 4 hours daily were wasted into transportation. And in that case, I was telling myself, like, this is the COVID and the pandemic that's happening, and the whole thing of the initiative of this digital platform for people to come and find solution together and think together and talk together is really was a very big step for me to establish like my principle and make it sure that this is what I will be doing for the rest of my life. Just go global and just go digital. Into the digital finance, there was something really important when coordinating a team into different time zones. I mean, you might think that you just send a message or give support at one time and that's it. But because it's coming from like USA, Belgium, India, some other countries, I mean, it's really hard to keep up with their needs and give them like direct informative support, or connect them with mentors. We had mentors like around 2,000 mentor, and we have like 2,200 team. So it was really very essential to understand that this is not one-time thing, or just like one. You might repeat yourself multiple times to deliver, and that goes also for your own community. At some point, we think that if we say something once, and if we do it once, it will be just like understood. But now it should be repeated in 2 different ways, different methods and approaches, but it should be repeated. And the same as this kind of dialogue and this kind of talk, migration talk, this is really important, and it should be repeated more often.
Okay, thank you, Yaman. There's a question from the audience. So Muna Alram asked both of you, what was the biggest challenge you faced in establishing your business? Maybe we can start with Jin this time, and then
Yes.
Yaman, you can follow. And while maybe like answering that question, and you can maybe say that the biggest challenge, but also what made your business idea come into being, maybe what made it easier as well. So what was basically the challenge, and what was the, I don't know, catalyst, whatever you call it. Maybe you can answer that as well. Jin, please, floor is yours.
I think the biggest challenge that I have faced to be able to establish my company was I wanted to have some of support to be able to establish this company, so we can work as a team. By Tubitak support, I was able to establish the company, and we just started to do our software development activities. After that, I think it's really hard in the first stage of the idea to think, will this work? Will it be a good idea? Will people use it? Will it be a nice thing? But because I personally experience this, and I really still noticing this problem. I said just I want to do as ever as I can to be able to be a help, to be a support for these people, because I cannot at the same time seeing something and behave like I did not see it, because I really want to do something, do a change, do something positive in this problem. That is one of the challenges that faced me. On the other hand, COVID-19 was also a challenge for us, because working online, I could not sometimes continue like see if our team how is it going. Everyone is at another place, different place. We also had difficulties in communicating with the associations that we wanted to cooperate with. Sometimes we could not reach them. They are always closed due to prohibitions. This made our working process very difficult. On the other issue, I had, as I said, difficulties by following up my teammates and doing things like that. But the most important thing is to continue working, be patient, and be also motivated to work as we can, so we can achieve and reach to our purposes, goals, and dreams.
Okay, Jin, thank you. How about you, Yaman?
Well, it's a simple thing, I can tell, by 2 points, actually. One of them is like finding a team or building the team with in the whole atmosphere of digital and remote work. It was a nightmare, and still, by the way, but because you always can find people who need work or who need to be involved, but the skills needed is really into the digital atmosphere is really low, and it takes time for developing that skill or that approach. That's one. So the team members and building the team is really hard. The second one, it was like generating business lead and generating this liquidity into the finance of the company. A lot of decision I had to take to make sure that this company will last at least 3 months, at least 6 months. Figure out like we are doing this, we are having this revenue from this project that we are doing, but still this one will be sufficient for only 2 months without spending it. So it's a really risky situation to bring to just like sustain liquidity and finance, and that all depends on the sales leads.
And then I have if I might, I want to question that. Like there are lots of brilliant ideas in the world, right? Like there might be like amazing ideas in the world. I have lots of ideas, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those ideas will have to bring the money or the finances.
Exactly.
So how did you know that your idea was able to generate the finances as well? Because I mean, it's not a charity, you have to keep this going and there are expenses.
Of course.
So how did you
exactly
that
was like it was a really big challenge during 2020, to be honest, like to make the approach or the service as paid services, not only like we are now into this pandemic and we volunteer together to build something and support someone. I mean, this is like a service. I mean, it's a service, same as a product. When you sell it, the service has also a price or a fee. Am I still connected? I'm
yeah.
Or
we can
freezing.
hear you. We can see you, but I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. I my screen froze. So it's all right. So the thing is, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
okay, my internet. You are frozen, but
I'm not frozen. I'm not really not moving. Maybe that's why. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
No, for me. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So to come up with the So to come up with the approach that this is a surface and it's a paid surface, and develop the whole system of what we are doing and how to connect our services together, so we can provide it as packages. That was like the biggest. We in Yalla Global we work into 3 different pillars. First of all is like translation services. Second is like the digital communication service. And the third one is like the consultancy and business development for startup mentoring and so on and so on, which include trainings, let's say, going on the journey with the company or the startup from the beginning. So when you approach those programs, like I'm gonna say like our main clients or customer segments are the NGOs or those who are running projects which are related and targeting refugees or foreigners into Turkey. And so we make packages of delivering digital communication support services and translation for them. And in this way, we can provide much more value into our, let's say, offers than just like a translation only.
Okay. There are some more questions coming up from the audience. So the next question will be from Zeynep Deniz Kumbaroğlu. With whom did you share your ideas first, and have you have a chance to develop the project with? So the first pioneer person that you went to talk to, or check your ideas, bounce your ideas, who was the first person that you went to talk with and get the first support?
Wanna go, Jin? Jin, go first.
Yeah, Jin, do you want to go first?
In fact, the first people that I have shared my idea with was my family, because we all have the same experience. They all have, they all had a great thing that they all said it would be a great thing. But also when I started to go to entrepreneurship trainings like innocampus, which was my first entrepreneurship training that I had, they said there, you should not ask your family about the idea. They will say it is a great idea, continue. So from that point, I started to ask my mentors, ask the trainings that I am attending, ask people, my friends, will you use this? After that, they asked me, mentors said that you can make a questionnaire where people can do they can answer the questions that you want to know, want to learn about it. And that was a great idea. That was my first point of sharing my idea. After that, what was the second section of this of the question?
Okay. And have you who did you share the ideas first and chance to develop the project with?
In fact, I've started to develop the project by myself. It's Android section. I developed it by myself because I was taking mobile application for Android section development trainings. After I have taken it to a level of to a stage, I have published it to Google Play Store. Then when the project started to be more official and started to have support from different parts, when I just made my team, we decided to develop it in Flutter, which is in Dart programming language. So now we are doing it from the 0 point. That's how it's going for us.
I see. And you, Yaman? Who did you
Well,
go first? Family again?
No, not family. Of course, not family. I mean, family will be like supportive as always, and I'm thankful that my family are supportive for me, like to develop myself and to go into this journey, which is really like a challenging one. But it was like out of my first. Let's say approach when you develop your ideas through the training and when you see that your idea could be valid, you should focus on customer validation. And that my customers, like in my first approach, was the people who are doing interpretation, so interpreters, and the people who needs interpretation, and what they can do, and what are their specification or skills. And that was my thing. So my first one who shared, I shared the idea was my friend. We were doing both. We were working together into providing simultaneous translation for conferences, English Arabic translation. And I told him like, this is what we can do. Do you think it's valid? And we kind of like, I got his feedback, like, because it's from the field. That's what it matters most. Yes, I can see the need, but still this need or the solution design for for the need, it could not be fit with the users, interpreters, and so on. We still till now developing and reassigning and redeveloping. So it's not, there is a very huge challenge into this market, the translation, the interpretation market in Turkey, which whatever solution you provide, there is always a difficulty, or like there is always like a shortcoming of let's say business flow later on. It depends on the market specification, I can tell, and the people or the companies, enterprises who are ruling this sector in Turkey. And don't be like surprised. There are companies only like I can tell like 5 companies ruling the interpretation sector in Turkey. So with this thing, I need to develop much more open approach, not only for Turkey ecosystem, but also like to be on a global scale applicable. So that's the thing. I share it with my friend from the field, from the business.
Okay, and there are other questions. So let's ask the other questions. This is from Sinem Nur Yurtaşan, and she's asking, what was your threshold when you were taking the risk? So how much risk you take?
Closing the company.
Or opening the company, or, you know.
Exactly.
Starting up, like how much money you're going to put into, how much of your time you're going to put into, because there's an opportunity cost for everything.
This is like a very kind of like open-ended question, and thank you for that. But still, it's more focused. It should be focused into different area. When taking the opportunity to open the company because there is a need, but if you don't follow the need at its time and develop the solution and make it fit and agile, like directly, you might not be able to sustain the business flow later on. And there where it comes to be like, you should find another solution, or you should find some other coverage for the company expenses. So it was like this threshold, like either like the worst case scenario, I can close the company, but in that scenario, it will cost me like much more than opening a company. So it's a risk. So you always think about like how to be adaptive and agile and act in an agile way each time of your business life. In each minute.
And you, Jin, what would be your feedback on this question? What would be your threshold in terms of, you know, taking the risk? How much you would be willing to risk, basically?
You should open your mic, Jin.
Yeah, Jin, I think you're muted.
Okay. For me, I will be willing to take risks, because after I have joined this journey and after I started this journey, I think that I have to and I should to do everything that I can, everything as much as I can, so I can reach the goals of our starting point. So I always remind myself, why did I start? where I am now, and where we will be in the future. So that is how we can make it continuous for us to be able to continue without taking so much attention to the problems.
Mm-hmm. And then the next question comes, and it's an interesting question because, as you know, it is migration talks, right? So when linking back into migration, the question that Ege Katırcıoğlu asked is that, like, what should the children or young refugees in Turkey do for achieving what you have done in terms of integration and livelihood? Maybe also like a linked question as well. Do you think that being an entrepreneur was did anyway helped you to integrate the society much easier? Would it give you a kind of access route for economic integration, social integration? And what else these other young people like you guys or even younger can do in terms of following these steps? Are there any advice? What you have done, did it help? And do you recommend it? If you do recommend it, what would you recommend? I asked 4 questions. I noticed.
Okay. Well, I am not the youngest here, so I'm gonna give the floor
that's why
first.
I said younger than younger than Jin is younger than you, and there might be people who are much younger than. That's why.
I'm gonna give the floor to Jin first, like to see to provide her approach, and then I will
Okay.
definitely follow up with that.
Okay, Jin.
Okay.
Thank you. In fact, it was very helpful for me by joining these trainings to integrate to the Turkish society. As I said, after I've joined so many trainings and mentorships and joined even so many events and conferences from other departments, that it's not necessary like it should be like psychological support or software, so I can join it. So it was really giving me chances to have new friends, have to expand my network, to meet new people at the same time. So I can give an example, like after I've joined Migraton, I had the chance to meet you, and it was really a great thing for me. It is the reason why I am here now, and now I am speaking and talking about my project. It's a very great thing for me. It's amazing how it's going from how just it started, and now we are here and doing another training and another conference, or doing a new thing together. So it's giving really a chance to integrate in the Turkish society. On the other hand, I really recommend to be an entrepreneur, but I want to say it's really a hard thing. You need to be a hard worker. You need to certify from your time, like your friend, while your friend are maybe just outside and having fun. Maybe your family are at the another room just laughing, and you are so curious what's happening there, but you have to work. So it's really hard thing. You should be a hard worker, but it's not impossible. I think after you believe in yourself, there's nothing impossible. So life is really hard, but living it by doing the things that I've always dreamed about, and living it by doing the things that I've always wanted to do is another meaning of the life. So it will be great if you live the life by doing the things you really wanted, and you really wanted, and you really wanted to do and experience these things.
Thank you, Jin. And Yaman?
That's perfect, actually. That's a perfect answer, like really, because there's always temptation in life and around you. So being commitment to your startup and your idea is a valuable thing. For me, I would say like being a refugee is probably not let's say, wishable experiences for anyone. But taking out this adjective of a refugee and thinking about like being an entrepreneur without your like a refugee or something, it's also might not be like for everyone. People might entrepreneurship is not really for everyone. Or being an entrepreneur. I'm not saying like those the people who are not entrepreneurs are less valuable. No, it's like seriously, it's like totally different question here, because at some point you give up a lot. You give, and as an entrepreneur, you give up like not only the temptation, the enjoyable thing in life right now, but you give up also like your kind of a privacy over your ideas, because you want to just share and implement at some point. And some point you will not find this kind of support with the programs or with anyone. You might also get into this depression of like, whatever solution I come up with, I cannot really fulfill because I don't have the support. But finding the solution and working on finding the solution, this journey is by itself developing yourself as an entrepreneur. So that's also goes now for children. Children now they learn by exploring, like curiosity, having curiosity about things. You don't push someone to be an entrepreneur. They should by themselves invent solutions for their problems, for their own viewpoints. Of how they see the problems is. What they should do actually is they just should be themselves, just grow up, go into experiences in life. Probably they will see opportunities and they will take it. The only thing that we as a society or we as a government should provide this, let's say, accessibility to such support, not only stop them from being innovative and being open about themselves. This is what they should do. I got very good opportunities here. Like I think myself very lucky because I am accessible to multiple opportunities other people can't. But now in my own, let's say, mission as a person, I want to develop myself enough so I can open doors for other people, or like help people go and seek such opportunities. It's a personal mission, but it doesn't mean I will do it for free right now. It's a thing that goes on in time. So you cannot just measure it like, you just do this and you are integrated. No. So it's a very deep feelings, but need heavily needed support from the government and from the society around them.
I think, yeah, you mentioned something. It's obviously it's a personality thing as well. Some people are more prone to taking risks and trying different ideas, the curiosity, because innovation comes through curiosity. You have to be curious to be innovative. You have to have a question, you want to solve it. You have to be driven, you have to be motivated, and you have to work on it quite heavily. As Jin also said, there might be people having fun on the next door, but you have to really work on this, right? You have to work on what bothers you. And this is not necessarily an easy task to do in any ways. So then I will ask, maybe before we are closing up the question session, what is in the future? What lies in the future? So what is next? What do you like to achieve? And what should be the circumstances for you personally and in terms of in the country to achieve that? Because Yaman, you said something, the accessibility. You might be driven, you might be motivated, you might be hardworking, you had all sorts of ideas, but if you don't necessarily have the environment to do all this, these things do not necessarily come into the reality. I remember it was about 10 years ago, I was taken by the German Marshall Fund, actually. So maybe those ideas come from German Marshall Fund, the project we had in Boston. So these innovations centers, so they have these incubation centers. It was the first time for me to see an incubation center, and I was expecting something glamorous, right? This huge place where Harvard, MIT, and Boston College, Boston University students coming. No, basically it was like a,
yes, of course.
it was a terrible place. It was like basically a couple of, tables, nothing. It was like a warehouse, an empty warehouse. There was like a bathroom and there was some internet connection, and that was it. And I'm like, this is it? That this is where you come up with these, wonderful ideas? I was very disappointed. But then I realized that it's an opportunity, right? I mean, it was an opportunity to do things and to take the time. And they had the mentors to help them to achieve those things. So what would be next, and how are you going to be able to achieve it? What do you need to achieve the next step?
I'm gonna leave it now for Jin, and then I will follow up.
Oh, you're cheating
Ladies
now,
first.
Yaman. You always let me choose.
All ladies first, always.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. For me, what I am thinking for the future of my project, in fact, I have always thought that psychological support is everyone's right. So every person has his points where he feels strong and weak. I think it is his fundamental right to reach this support so that he can understand himself and organize his life more. Everything will be better when each person reaches this support according to their needs, especially in the Corona time. After in this stage of time that we are coming across, we need to relax, and we need to invest in ourselves more, not to push ourselves to do more things that can psychologically make us feel just worse than we need to be. So what we need to be able to just continue this project is having a hard working, having really people who believe in this project, like our team are. So by working, we can do whatever we are planning for, but we also need to invest in ourselves and develop in ourselves to be able to reach the things that we always wanted to do. We also now we are trying to cooperate with associations so we can do free psychological support for refugees. But because of the prohibitions and because of COVID-19's prohibitions, we are living some challenges with reaching out with them. But I believe these things will pass, and I hope everything will be better in the future.
Thank you, Jin. And Yaman?
Okay, that's really good, and I will not say like the same thing as like just working on my ideas. What I would say, like probably personally, I would say like in 5 years time frame, I'm looking to be myself like as retired. Like I have my own startup, is all running well, but I will be retiring from like the responsibility of like working and running after work and stuff. This is personal thing, but still, I mean, it's a thing that I would say business wise. In 2014, Elon Musk shared a speech. It was in a dialogue, and it was saying like he was talking about education, and this may be related to the question like what children and young refugees should do. And I told you like having accessibility and the society providing them with opportunity to grow and to be supported is really needed. So my idea, or what's coming up here, me and a co-founder now, we are developing, let's say, a solution for this to make everyone accessible, especially children and young people, age 12 and up, to have access to this, to the knowledge, to the needed knowledge, the real needed knowledge in the community and in the market, not only just go through the systematic educational schooling system, and also because we understand, like, getting those opportunity might be, let's say, financially heavy. So we will provide it. We are thinking about solution to provide this opportunities to learn, to get the knowledge that you want, and to earn while you are learning. Not only to pay for it. You will earn if you learn. So you start. You learn. The more you complete courses or take information, you get paid for that. And this is like the main idea. So we will see how it goes. But in a span of 2 years, or let's say 1 year, we will be developing, like, let's say, like as a form and a ground for this, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Yaman.
Yep.
And that brings us to the end of our talk, our seminar today. And I would like to thank you once more, both to Jin and Yaman, for sharing their experiences. Very inspiring, two very inspiring stories that shows that how driven, motivated, hardworking you are. And it gives an example, it sets an example for sure, for anyone. And these are, I think, as you said, international experiences that you were able to use the opportunities that come in front of both of you. So congratulations, and I'm really hoping and wishing you, as the METUMIR team, the best for the future. I would like to see more more success stories or awards coming from both of you. And taking this opportunity, I would also like to make little kind of announcement about the project that METUMIR got, the German Marshall Fund of the United States Marshall Memorial Fellowship alumni leadership projects we got about. It's also about entrepreneurship and social inclusion of both host community and refugee communities, and it's going to be a set of training exercises that we will have. And at the end of the training, both host community and hopefully they're going to have joint teams of both host community members and the refugee community members will present their ideas after their training, and it will give them opportunity of maybe to come to life. The Top University is also a partner, Top University Technology Transfer Office. They were able to bounce this idea in their garage workshops. And at the same time, we are a partner, Intercomp Europe, if you have heard about it. It's entrepreneurship training project by the European Commission. And we will also get the training from them to train our...
Intercomp, right?
Intercomp, yeah. Yes. They have the Intercomp Europe one, and the Turkish side, the Top Brussels office is also a partner with us. So we're hoping to bring all together, and we're hoping to build a community. And I would really like you both to see the part of, you're going to be part of our community as well, because I think this is very critical for the future, that this community supports each other and share experiences and make it more resilient and long-term, and think global. Because I think that's what we should think, not to repeat the similar projects over and over and over again, but instead, like, think big, think as Europe, Canada, the world. So the world is a big place, and despite the disadvantages of having a pandemic, it's created opportunities as well of working online, as you have said, and you did yourself, Yaman. You can be anywhere in the world and you can still run your business. So that's an advantage. And I think this is how we should think. And hopefully our project will be able to create that the seed of that community and bring a result that will think global, bigger, think big. But you can act local, but you have to think big, I think. So
exactly.
So
thank you, Bashak.
And thank all the participants as well. And thank you for the METUMIR team. Thank you, Eda. and all the METUMIR team here that helped this to come together, all the METUMIR activities team. And would you like to thank them? Because maybe it's more appropriate that you thank them.
As
All
a
the
METUMIR team, we are thank you for being here, and thank you for accepting our invitations. We learned a lot of things, and thank you.
Thank you, Ada. Thank you, Bashak. Thank you, Jin, also for sharing this dialogue with me as well. And I want to tell, just in short, please, this is very important for me to communicate with everyone here. Probably time frame is not really valuable, is not really expandable right now, but for everyone who would like to connect and communicate later on, please just go on LinkedIn, write Yaman Halawi, and just book me a message. And if by any way I can help, I'm very glad to do so.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And thank you for this opportunity, all of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Bashak. Thank you, Mrs. Aida. And also thank you, Ipak, from the message in the chat section. Thank you for METUMIR team. It was really a great experience for me. I was happy to share my story and the starting point of my project in this meeting. It is a great chance to see you all here. As Mrs. Yaman said, you can always get in touch. Don't hesitate. I will always be supporting by the things that I know, and I am also open to have your ideas too and facts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone, and I hope to see you again in another occasion. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good